of my my sort of debrief with the players today after our game was just some insight to like the psychology behind like our interactions with within the game. You know, like when you've won a game, if it's been a heavy win, how do you react? If it's been a big defeat, how do you react? What sort of things do you say to the opposition? What do you say to each other? And I just gave the players a little bit of an insight to what I say and why I say it, because there's a huge chance that they may get the wrong impression. I wanted them to understand when we get a big win, how I speak to opposition coaches. I wanted them to know the consequence of how you speak to a referee, and I wanted them to know why at in certain games I say certain things to them, which is about like the expectation. Like I change my expectation depending on how we're doing in the game. So I sort of shared that with them, and it's just a little bit of an opportunity for them to understand some of the psychology behind what I might say as a coach and why I might say it. So I want them to be as knowledgeable as possible. You know, I don't want to overload them with information, but I do want them to be intelligent. I want them to know stuff. I want them to know and retain information so that they go on and they don't need the coach as much. Do you know what I mean? So we've worked together for long enough for me to trust that the majority of them, at least, I share information with them and it's not going to be wasted. You know, really want them to understand as much as possible about the game. It's really important. You don't want to be working with players and then realise that they couldn't go on to anything else within the game. You know, we're not all going to be able to be professional players, but we want them to be really quite intellectual about the game. So sharing information, being honest with players to a degree. Obviously, you know, you don't want to blow their minds away, but you do want them to understand why certain things might be the way they are, so that nothing's misunderstood. I want them as bright as possible, you know. So that was a bit of sharing with the players that I work with today.